I knew something was wrong the moment she said, "Relax, it's just a business dinner." Her tone was too casual, too rehearsed. Emma always had this little twitch in her voice when she was lying. A slight pause before the word just. It used to mean nothing, but after 12 years of marriage I could read her the way I read our bank statements. Line by line, looking for inconsistencies. That night she stood by the mirror, fastening her silver earrings, the one she wore on our anniversary last year. The black dress she chose hugged her like she wanted to be noticed. "Who's the dinner with?" I asked, leaning against the doorway. She smiled faintly, eyes still on her reflection. "Just some clients. Mark from accounting, maybe Lisa. You know how it is." I nodded slowly, pretending to believe her. But I knew Mark from accounting was on paternity leave, and Lisa had quit 2 months ago. When she left, the silence in the house pressed down on me like a heavy blanket. I sat in the dark living room scrolling through old photos on my phone. Us laughing on the beach, her head resting on my shoulder, the kind of pictures that used to mean something. Now, every smile looked like a lie I hadn't discovered yet. I told myself I was being paranoid. That maybe I'd just grown cynical after losing my job last year, after she became the main earner. But something inside me refused to quiet down, the same instinct that once told me she was the one. At 8:47 p.m. I texted, "Hope dinner's going well." She didn't reply. At 10:12 p.m. I called. No answer. At 11:03 p.m., she finally texted back. "Sorry, long meeting. Heading home soon, red heart." That heart emoji felt like a knife. By the time she came home, her perfume arrived before she did. A scent I didn't recognize. "Hey," she said, stepping inside, clutching her bag too tightly. "You're still up?" "Yeah," I replied evenly. "How was dinner?" "Exhausting. You know how clients can be." I studied her face. She wasn't meeting my eyes. A faint lipstick smudge lingered on her cheek, slightly smeared, as if someone else's lips had been there first. I didn't confront her. Not that night. I'd learned that people confess less when accused and more when they think they're safe. So I waited. Over the next week I watched patterns form. Late nights, new outfits, sudden bursts of cheerfulness that didn't match her fatigue. Then one day, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the counter. A message from a number with no name. "Friday, same place. Can't stop thinking about you." My chest went hollow. I opened the thread. Dozens of messages. Flirty. Personal. Intimate. He called her M. She called him Ryan. He worked with her, new regional manager transferred 2 months ago. Every business dinner had been him. Every late night, a lie wrapped in the word meeting. I put the phone down before I broke it. The next day I followed her. She left at 6:30, saying she was going to the office early for a client prep. I parked 2 blocks away from the downtown hotel she walked into. I waited, watching her disappear through the glass doors with the man I assumed was Ryan. Tall, neatly dressed, confident. They didn't look like coworkers. They looked like something else entirely, something secret and burning. My hands trembled on the steering wheel, a mix of fury and disbelief. But I didn't storm in. Not yet. Because revenge, I realized, wasn't about confrontation. It was about timing. That evening, I made a reservation at that same restaurant under her name, Emma Brooks. I called the manager, pretending to be her assistant, and requested a special business dinner set up for Ms. Brooks and Mr. Ryan. I asked for the most expensive bottle of wine and a private booth. Then I arranged for the bill, everything from the wine to the desserts, to be delivered not to her table, but to her office the next morning. A little thank you for the lovely evening. I wanted her lie to collapse on itself. Friday night arrived. She left again, this time in a blue dress I'd never seen before. I watched her from the window as she got into a cab, looking every bit the woman I used to know, but belonging to someone else now. I followed at a distance. When I entered the restaurant, I chose a seat at the far corner, hidden behind a column. From there I saw them. Emma and Ryan laughing, leaning close, hands brushing across the table. She looked happy. Too happy. Every laugh tore at me. Every glance they shared felt like an erasure of our years together. I remembered the nights she cried when I lost my job, the promises we'd made, the dreams we'd built. Now it all looked like a stage play, and I was the only fool who didn't know the ending. I stayed long enough to see her take his hand under the table. That was enough. I stood up quietly and left before she noticed me. The next morning I made breakfast like usual. Pancakes, coffee, her favorite mug. I wanted normalcy for one last day. She came downstairs humming, scrolling through her phone. "Morning," she said, kissing my cheek as if nothing had happened. I forced a smile. "Morning. How was the dinner?" "Good. Productive," she said, pouring herself coffee. "I think we're finally landing that client." "Oh, I'm sure you are," I murmured. At 9:15 her phone buzzed again. I pretended not to notice, but I saw her expression change, confusion then panic. "What's wrong?" I asked, feigning innocence. "It's nothing. Just a mistake, I think." Her face drained of color as she read the message. The restaurant manager had sent a polite thank you to her work email, attaching the bill for last night's dinner, addressed to Ms. Emma Brooks and Mr. Ryan Clark. It had been CC'd to her company's finance department. $472. Her eyes flicked up to me wide and terrified. "Did you?" I cut her off quietly. "You said it was just a business dinner." "Michael, listen," she stammered, stepping toward me. "It wasn't what you think." "Then what was it?" I asked, my voice breaking. "Because from where I'm standing, it looks like I married a stranger." Tears welled in her eyes. "I made a mistake, okay? I was lonely, you've been so distant. Don't you dare blame me for your choices," I snapped. "You lied to me. For weeks." She reached out, but I stepped back. The space between us felt wider than any distance on earth. "I didn't want to lose you," she whispered. "You already did." That afternoon I packed a bag. Just the essentials. As I walked past her, she sat on the couch, face buried in her hands, sobbing softly. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. But love can't survive deceit. It only rots beneath it. "I'll send someone for the rest," I said, opening the door. She looked up, her voice breaking. "Michael, please, we can fix this." I paused for a long moment. Then I said quietly, "You can't fix what you killed." And I walked out. It's been 3 months since that day. I moved into a small apartment overlooking the river. Some nights I still catch myself thinking about her. How she'd laugh at stupid movies, how she'd fall asleep with her hand in mine. But then I remember the restaurant. The wine. The lies. Sometimes love doesn't end with a fight. Sometimes it ends with a receipt delivered to the right inbox. And in that silence, when everything falls apart, you finally learn who someone really is. And who you are without them.